And maybe you don't say that, but deep down, that's why you're not taking more action. What is going on, YouTube? We're back with another video. On a late night walk, per usual. Something about just exercising, it's truly and genuinely changed my life. And people ask me, like, how do you walk for an hour, 2 hours at a time? How do you go to the gym and spend multiple hours there? It's not a regular thing. Usually I'm efficient with my time, but a lot of times when I'm in the gym or I'm doing cardio or exercising for hours on end, the reason I'm exercising every day is because fitness truly changed my life. It's not about the physique, it's not about that muscle mass, as much as those things are great and dandy. It's truly for the soul and for the mind. And you know, I had a conversation with my best friend last night, and we met in college. He's been there for me for ups and downs, and he's got a lot of wisdom and insights that he's spoken into my life. And he was asking me a question about like where I see my business going, and I was basically explaining how, you know, personal training and the exercise and the workouts and fat loss, like that has never been my passion. Truly, I love it. It's great. It's fun. It's interesting. It's a hobby of mine. But I spent multiple years training people in person, and I noticed a big difference between some clients I worked with versus others. Some of my clients, I was so fulfilled and I couldn't wait to work with them, versus other clients, I just wanted to get them results, and I could tell that they just wanted to get the workout over. It was almost like I was looking more forward to those specific clients that made me feel fulfilled. And the reason I was explaining to this friend is it was never about the exercises. It was never about getting people into shape. Yes, that's great. It was about the impact that I was hoping to make and the ability to inspire them, and also them reciprocating that to me and like genuinely getting to know me. And this is why I say that fitness has never been about the exercises or the workouts. It's about the perception that you have when you get into fitness. The reason I love fitness is not because of biomechanics or anatomy or fat loss or building muscle. It's because fitness changed my life for the better. Fitness allowed me to perceive the world in a light that I had never seen before. It allowed me to get through dark and difficult times, and it allowed me to want to start inspiring people because I knew the impact it had on me. And I'm not talking just about my physique. Like, that's cool. Yeah, it gave me some external confidence, but it was the inner transformation, the inner morphing that occurred when I started prioritizing my health and fitness, and just the way it made me feel inside. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, and that's why most of my videos aren't directly related to fat loss or building muscle, because everybody knows what to do, you know, to an extent. Yeah, maybe not everybody knows exactly what, but we all know that if we ate less food, we ate more protein, we drank our water, we went to the gym and exercised and did cardio, we'd be in great shape. But most people don't do that, and the reason for that is they don't envision themselves as, they don't find priority in it, and they don't make it urgency aside from how they're going to look and how they're going to feel. My best clients, the ones that have told me I've made an impact on them, the ones that I can tell genuinely have shifted the way they think and view the world, it's not because of the shape they've gotten into. Because some of my happiest clients, some of my clients I've been working with for a while, they've made great transformations, but it's been a way bigger transformation mentally. The person they believe themselves to be, the way they perceive life around them, and the inspiration they want to make on others, and how they also now want to change the world. And it's because deep down they knew that they were meant for more, but nobody believed in them, or maybe they didn't believe in themselves, or maybe they didn't put themselves in an environment or through situations that were going to mentally and physically stretch them. And the clients that have made the best physical transformations, not all of them, but a handful of them, it's always like more and more and more. It's always like, oh, when I get a six-pack, I'm gonna feel better. And so the biggest thing I try to tell these guys is like, dude, I'm telling you, like, I know you want to be in shape, but it's not about how you look or how you feel, your muscle, your fat loss, your physique. It's about the person you're developing yourself into. It's about the man that you're creating. I think exactly about fitness that way. Fitness truly changed my life. You know, there were many days where you know, I felt like I didn't want to be alive anymore. I felt like I didn't have any purpose on earth. I felt like I didn't have people around me that like actually understood what I was going through. And fitness allowed me to feel like I was making an impact, like I was bettering myself, and like I should keep going. And truly, that was what allowed me to stay on this mission and this vision. And so on that conversation, there was a phone call I had with my friend last night. I was explaining how, like, dude, so he was asking me about my long-term plans and giving me some strategy and everything. And I was noticing I was unreceptive to it. I wasn't, listening essentially. And I started to think, why do I not take my own best friend's advice? He's very smart, analytic type, very system oriented, really focusing on like, okay, where are the bottlenecks? Where are the constraints in the business? And my response after giving some thought to it, I was like, dude, like, I know that I need to fix and optimize and resolve certain constraints with my business. I know that I need to do X, Y, and Z and all this stuff, but I don't even care anymore at that point, because I just focus on detaching from outcome. And most importantly, I've realized that me doing fitness coaching is not what I'm truly passionate about. I love coaching people, but it's not directly because of the fitness coaching. It's because of the impact that these people are making on others and the person they're transforming themselves into. And I love the fitness. It's something that, like I said, it's very interesting to me, but it's nothing like the impact and the fulfillment I feel from knowing that somebody is turning themselves into a better man, into a leader, into somebody that can also inspire others. A lot of my best clients have realized that they were settling for less. They had vices, they had bad habits. A lot of them realized, like, hey, I want to start my own business one day. I don't want to settle for this 9-to-5 job that I'm not fulfilled at. And now they're investing into mentors, starting businesses, some of them. Even some people that aren't starting businesses, they're starting new positions, right? They're disciplined more in their life. They're able to lead their families, lead their kids, and make an impact on them. And that's where my true passion comes from. And that's why I talk about entrepreneurship and business so much, because that is what fulfills me. Not the business itself, not the strategy, as much as that. Those things are cool. It's the impact that makes on me. Because let me just say this. Every single time that I've told myself, when I have a big month, when I hit my financial goals, then I'm going to feel happy. It's this constant revolving thing where I always say, okay, and I know subconsciously and deep down that I'm not going to feel happy that way, but we get caught in the cycle, I really need money. Boom, you have a big month. Right? I really need to lose weight. I feel horrible. I need to get in shape, right? And every time that external thing lands in your lap and you finally achieve it, what happens? We all realize it's meaningless, And in the Bible, it says how, you leave stripped with nothing. You're empty. So taking that into account, and even one of my business coaches, he talks a lot about how, and he's a multimillionaire at this point, but he talks about how he would always find himself in the same cycle of, when I hit $100,000 this month, then I'm going to feel happy. Then it happened and he didn't. And then when I hit $200,000 this month with my business, then I'm going to feel happy. And guess what happened? Same thing. I'm going to hit $300,000, right? And he talks about how one of his mentors, a pastor, said, I see big vision. I see you and your team scaling to $1 million a month and making so much impact. And he talks about how he realized that like those external things are never going to have him feel the way he wants, but it's about the impact he can leave while he is here. I set a goal for myself as, a couple weeks before 2025 started, end of 2024, I started reading more, educating myself. I've always been a self-educator, but I noticed that I would listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos. I would never sit down and actually strictly focus myself on one task in reading. And I knew that was something that I needed to learn. It was a skill set that was going to allow me to improve, not just to gain education, but also to be calm, to be quiet, to, be comfortable sitting still. And as 2025 wraps up, I've these past few days been feeling mad at myself, frustrated. Do you want to know why? Because at the beginning of 2025, I told myself I was going to read more. That was as simple as it was. I'm going to read more books, and I'm going to see how many books I can read. And January of 2025, I think I read 8 or 9 books. February, I maybe read like another 5 or 6. I was like, at this rate, I was thinking to myself, I can literally read a book a week and read 52 books this entire year. And there were a few months where, honestly, guys, I wasn't reading much. Like, I can flip a switch, right? I can read 3 books in a week if I really put my mind to it. I did it on vacation with my family. I was just reading. And I love it, right? But there were times where I wasn't taking that time to sit down. Even subconsciously, I knew that I needed to. I was prioritizing other things. And also, I would tell myself, like, okay, well, this book is going to be great for insightful information. That's going to help me in the long term. But right now, what's a bigger priority is solving this specific constraint in my business. So rather than reading this book to level up, I'm just going to watch YouTube videos or listen to podcasts about how to solve this problem, which I think is a smart decision, right? Because you need to be implementing and taking action. If your entire goal is just to consume a lot of things but not actually implement, then you're not going to gain much. But on the contrary, you do want to be stretching yourself. You do want to be growing. And so I realized as it started to get closer, towards Q4, this winter, this fall, 15 books or whatever. And yeah, guys, like I went 5 or 6 months where I only read 1 or 2 books, which still is good, right? Especially compared to last year when I read maybe 1 book, maybe none at all. The year before I didn't read any. I started to tell myself as it got closer and closer and closer to November and December, okay, well, if I can do 26 books, that's roughly a book every 2 weeks. Let's aim for that. And then I just told myself, okay, I'm going to read 30 books. On, I think a couple days before Christmas, I told myself I'm going to finish 30 books by 2025, by the time it ends, before 2026. Quite literally, there was a week left, and I had 6 or 7 books left. It's like, okay, I need to read a book a day. And I started getting the cycle and get frustrated, because after the next few days, I realized I was putting so much pressure on myself just to accomplish this goal that I was feeling mad, I was feeling guilty, And as an update, I think I've read 23 or 24. I'm going to finish my 25th tonight. There's a chance I might not hit that 26 book goal. But I know that even if I read 52 books this year, I wouldn't feel fulfilled from accomplishing the goal. I would feel fulfilled by the growth I've made. And you're never going to feel accomplished when you set a huge goal and you hit it. You're going to feel way more fulfilled by setting way steeper goals and failing, but knowing that you push yourself. You need to be comfortable with failing and not achieving your goal, and knowing that the reason you didn't achieve your goal is because you set such a steep goal that was way too much, essentially. Not saying you couldn't have, but I personally would rather set my goal as 52 books one year, like last year, and then read 30, 25 or whatever, then set the goal as I'm going to read 10 books this year, and then guess what happens? Maybe I read 10 books. Maybe I read 5. So when you get into the mindset of I'm going to stretch myself, tell yourself, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in the next 90 days. You might not achieve that goal. You might fail, but you might drop 20. And 20 pounds in 90 days is a big goal. So if you can be comfortable and okay and accepting of the fact that not from the outset, you want to have your focus and mindset on crushing the goal, but knowing that it's okay to fail and not hit your goal, that is typically a sign that you're pushing yourself way further than you otherwise would. Every financial goal I've ever had, every time I've hit it, I didn't feel fulfilled. And the reason is because I knew I could do more. And the other reason is because I knew that it wasn't about the external thing. It wasn't about the reward or the goal. It was about the person I became across the process. Setting these steep goals allow you to fall so much further ahead than you otherwise would. So I hope you guys take some value from this video. It's New Year's Eve. 2026 will be tomorrow. And my goal is to read 52 books this year. But I'm even starting to think, as I ponder on it later tonight and tomorrow, maybe I should set the goal higher. Maybe I should set my goal as 100 books, which is a stretch, right? That would be two books a week, roughly. But imagine if I set my goal as 100 books, and then I crush the 52 books. I'm going to still feel the same way. Damn, I didn't hit my goal. If I set that goal lower, I'm going to fall short. A business mentor of mine, he talks about how when he would set his goal as 100K a month with his business coaching, he would always fall short. 99.6K next month, 99.8K next month, 94K, 95K. It's like, what the heck? He talked about how you need to be thinking way bigger. So he went out to dinner with guys that were doing $1 million a month. Some of them which were doing $1 million a week. They're in the real estate niche, so bigger price points, more leverage, more skill sets. But all of these guys were surrounding themselves with way bigger fish, with sharks. And so what he explained is that surrounding himself with people that are achieving and thinking on a way bigger horizon, that is what causes that growth. My first ever $10,000 a month with my coaching business, I felt like I had made it. And I didn't even realize until a few days after. I was at a networking mastermind in Dallas, Texas, if you guys aren't from the US. And I said my goal was like 10K a month. And it was such a struggle. It was such a grind. It was so hard for me to break past that 7, 8, 9K range. And I didn't know why. I was like, I'm doing everything. All my focus is on hitting $10,000 this month. Or if not this month, the next month. I'm going to hit it. It's every single month. But over time, I started to feel down on myself, like I'm not achieving my goals. And then there was one month, December of last year, where I hit 14 or like 15K. And I noticed that month, I didn't set a goal. I was just focusing on the inputs, and I just was having fun, and I was feeling fulfilled with the journey. And then when I went to that mastermind event, I felt like the man. I finally hit my first 10K month. I was just like, I felt so accomplished. And I connected with another fitness coach that was in the same program that I was in, the same mentorship group that I was in. He had started from zero. He had basically a couple months in the business. He was doing it less than me, but he had more skill sets at the time. And talking to him, he was like, yeah, we're doing about 20K a month right now. I'm thinking to myself, 20K a month, that's crazy. If I could just do 20K a month, then I would finally be happy and fulfilled. And a couple months later, and I remember sitting there thinking, wow, like in my mind, I'm not setting my goal high enough. I'm not surrounding myself with big enough fish. This guy is setting 20K a month, and he was not happy. He was not fulfilled by it. And I remember just the energy, the aura he was talking with. It's like, yeah, we're doing about 20K a month. We're trying to push it further. Flash forward 1 month, in February, the shortest of the entire year in 28 days, they did over $100,000 cash. It went from 20K to over $100,000. And that just opened things up for me. Fortunately, him and the mentor that led the program, we jumped on a group coaching call, and they broke all the strategy down. And it was super insightful. But I realized that I'm following the same business model. I'm doing just about all that. Maybe I'm not spending as much on the business, and I don't have as big of a team as him, but I'm doing relatively the same things. And I realized that thinking back on it, he was thinking so much bigger. And he was still falling short from the goals he set up for himself. I'm sure when they hit 100K a month, they were set out on doing it. But guess what? I remember seeing in the group chat, we're almost at 100K. And then on like the final day of the month, they hit that final payment and they did like 100,200, like barely over 100K. I think back on that networking mastermind, that business mentorship mastermind, there were people in that room that were doing $400,000 to $500,000 a month with their business. Not just one guy, multiple people. And that probably doesn't seem real to you. That probably sounds like a scam. But when you have leverage with business, when you have a team, not all of that will be profit. You might walk away with $200,000-300K a month, maybe even less. But it's like you're setting such a steep goal. I can guarantee that guy in the room, his mindset was, I need to hit $1 million a month. I need to hit $2 million a month. Not just for the money, but like because of the personal growth and the fulfillment and the feeling of stretching yourself. And there's no wonder that my coach, his name is Brandon. If you guys go check him out, his name is Brandon Forbes. He has made an impact on me so much. I'm so glad that was my first mentor I invested into, specifically with business. I've invested into other mentors in the past, but I'm glad I started working with him because he has impact on not just me, but all of those around him. And he puts his faith first. He talks about God. He talks about business. He talks about a lot of things that I resonate with. And I feel like, I'm aspiring to be more like him. And he would tell stories of, our goal for this month is, he wouldn't tell us, but he would talk about it in his content. He would say, our goal is to push $1 million a month. And so it's no wonder that he would hit $300,000 in a single month, because he was thinking on such a broader horizon. He was barely breaking the barrier for what he had set up for himself. He was thinking on a way steeper vision. So if you're thinking, I need to make $1 million a month, or I'm going to hit $1 million a month, and you're surrounding yourself with people that are doing just that, and you actually believe that's possible, or guys doing 10, 15 $1 million a year, 20, 50 $1 million a year, you're going to start having that person rub off on you. And most importantly, aside from all the strategy, you're going to just start thinking on a way bigger level, and you're going to fall short most likely. Will you hit that goal? Yes, there will definitely be times you hit that goal. But I promise you, if you set the goal so much further ahead and you're okay with failing and knowing that it might not happen. It might not happen next month, it might not happen next year, it might not happen ever. But knowing that, okay, if I set a goal steep enough, I'm going to fall short. Like the cliche saying, if you shoot for the moon, you land on the stars. It's so real. I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't mind falling on the stars. Am I going to be happy? No, I'd be mad that I didn't hit the moon. I didn't land on the moon. But how many people hit the stars? When you start setting way bigger goals for yourself and you're okay with knowing that you might not achieve them, that's when you're going to grow the most. You shouldn't have the belief that you're not going to achieve the goal. You should believe that you're going to achieve it. But if it happens, if it turns out that you don't achieve the goal, I just want you to look back on, okay, I didn't achieve my goal, but where was I last year? Where was I last month? Where was I 10 years ago, 5 years ago? I'm light years ahead of, 10 times ahead, light years ahead of where I was. And when I started my personal training gig, it was consistent. I'm making $800 a month, $600 a month. If I'm lucky, $1,000 a month. And then over time, now I'm making $1,500 a month. So I'm making $1,500 to $2,000 every single month, working 80 to 100 hour weeks for quite literally almost 2 years. And number one is because I was not setting steep enough goals. I was setting my goals at, I just need to make 2K this month. I need to make 3K this month. And guess what happened? I would always fall short. This is a personal training job. This is not a high leverage skill set. This is not a lucrative business model. It's not a business model at all. Yes, you somewhat run your own business. You have your own clients, but you're still an employee. You're still working under somebody else's roof. How the managers I worked under at the time would always term it would be, I want you guys to think of yourself as a business owner, except you're a business owner under a corporate roof. And if you're under a corporate roof, if you're a business owner for somebody else, you fall victim to an employee mindset. And an employee mindset is what keeps you stuck, because you're giving the power to other people. You're telling people that, you're telling yourself that if I don't make the money I want, it's my manager's fault. It's my boss's fault. And maybe you don't say that, but deep down, that's why you're not taking more action. When you tell yourself, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a freelancer, whatever, that if I don't make the money I want, it's nobody else's fault. It's my fault. I didn't do enough. I wasn't skill-setted enough. That's why I think that's a big shift I had when I left all these jobs in the past, and I realized that I'm going to grow and stretch myself so much further, doing my own thing, working for myself, having the autonomy to be able to walk around and do YouTube videos in the dark, or go to the gym in the morning or the night, or stay up, pull all nighter if I need to because I need to get work done. Like, I don't have to be anywhere, you know? And I realized that that's something that I'll never do. Like, I'll never work for somebody again. And it might sound egotistical, but I just know that I'm a far better man, and I'm growing so much further doing things myself. Even though it's way harder, there's always new problems. One of my clients is starting his own business, and I told him, like, you need to be okay knowing that there's going to be way more problems. You have more money, you have more problems, you have more responsibility. Especially if you have a team. Now you're also having to get these guys paid. Like for me, I have so many bottlenecks, so many constraints. Every single day there's a new problem. Oh, my software is not working. Oh, the link is giving an error code. Now I have to deal with this. Oh, my clients need assistance, which I don't look at that as a problem. That's, you know, what I'm out here to do. But there's just certain things that I don't like about the business. I worked for a 6-figure business owner at the time and managed one of the in-person locations for a DEXA-Fit. DEXA-Fit is essentially DEXA scans. Look it up if you want, but it gives you body fat breakdown. It's, you know, a radiation, essentially. It's a scanner. And low-dose X-rays, I would say it's relatively safe, but do your research. Don't just listen to me. I had a couple scans done. During my time there, that's it. And one thing he said to me one time was, regardless of how passionate you are, how fulfilled you feel, how much you love what you do, there's always going to be things that you don't want to do. There's always going to be things that annoy you, that are frustrating, that you hate doing, and that's just how business is. For me, a lot of those things are tech related or data driven or tracking my metrics. I don't like doing all that stuff, but I know that I need to if I want my business to be where I want it to be. So as we wrap up this video, I just want to leave you guys with 2 points. Number one, when you set the goal so much higher and you're okay with knowing you might fail, but you're gonna stretch yourself way further and grow way further, earn way further, progress way further, that is when you're gonna see way more success than if you just aim for a goal. You know, just set a higher goal, you're gonna achieve more than you otherwise would. You just have to be okay with knowing that it might not happen, but you're gonna eventually get to where you wanna be. Second thing I wanna leave you guys off with is think about the person you wanna be as 2026 starts. Think about the impact you wanna make on other people, and think about where the fulfillment is going to come from. Is the fulfillment going to come from the external things, from you having record months with your business, or putting on a muscle you want, or like achieving goals? It's never going to come from that. It's going to come from the dirty groundwork. Like, it's going to come from you being in the trenches, knowing that each and every single day, like, you're progressing and you're bettering yourself. So I hope that helps and potentially inspire some of you guys. If you guys are looking to make a legitimate transformation with your health, your mindset, your physique, your confidence, as 2026 kicks off, I have literally just 2 spots left, and then that's it. We opened up 7 spots. That was all the availability we had. We have 2 more guys. If you guys are serious, you can message me on Instagram at JStroudFit. Message me the word transform, or just literally send me a voice audio and be like, yo, bro, I saw your YouTube video. I want to work with you. Now, I can't guarantee we're the best fit. I just need to ask you some questions, get to know your situation better, and see if I can help. And if I can, I'd be happy to walk you through what I do and how it works. If you guys are really serious, watch my pinned YouTube video. It breaks down my 6-pillar blueprint, how I help guys get life-changing results. And that'll also help you understand a bit more. But literally just go to Instagram, follow me if you don't already, message me, we can chit chat and go from there. 2026 is going to be a big year for each and every one of you guys. If you take action, you implement, you're constantly focusing on growth, and you believe in yourself, because nobody's going to believe in yourself unless you do. I could believe in you, and I do for a lot of you guys, even though I don't know who you are, because I believe that people can achieve things that they want. But nobody's gonna believe in you more than you believe in yourself, and you need to understand that and take action. So I'll see you guys next year.